News making headlines across the globe. Of course, we begin with Nigeria's foreign policy news today, as Nigeria's battle to shape Washington's view of its internal security crisis has spilled into a lobbying war, with the federal government dramatically outspending Biafran secessionist groups as both sides seek President Donald Trump's ear over claims of a Christian genocide. According to the noted UK publication African Confidential, alarmed by Trump's threat last November to go into Nigeria guns a-blazing, President Bola Tinubu's administration and its allies have moved swiftly to counter separatist narratives in the U.S. capital, signing a $750,000 a month deal for 6 months renewable contract with the Republican-linked DCI group to press Abuja's case on visa policy, military cooperation, trade and tariffs, and to emphasize government efforts to protect Christians and Muslims and combat jihadist violence. Well, the scale of the contract dwarfs that of the shadowy and unknown Biafran Republic government in exile, which is paying up $66,000 a month to the smaller Madison and Washington lobbying firm to push for sanctions against Nigerian officials, greater U.S. engagement with a putative Biafran administration, and even support for military strikes and favorable oil deals with Washington in an unidentified future Biafra. Well, the lobbying scramble has unfolded alongside intensified U.S.-Nigeria security contacts, including joint intelligence coordination and U.S. airstrikes on suspected jihadist targets in northern Nigeria over Christmas, underscoring how claims made in Washington are now intersecting directly with military, diplomatic, and commercial decisions affecting Africa's most populous country. Well, in a related development, the United States has delivered critical military supplies to Nigeria as part of ongoing efforts to strengthen bilateral security cooperation between the two countries. The delivery was confirmed by United States Africa Command, better known as AFRICOM, which oversees U.S. military operations across the continent. In a post on X, AFRICOM said the critical military supplies handed over to Nigerian partners in Abuja are in support of Nigeria's ongoing operations in tackling terrorism and banditry. It comes amid a broader security partnership between Nigeria and the United States.
Now, as for lobbies, lobbying is a standard, tested, old tradition within the American system. And the whole idea of lobbying is that you want your side of the story to be heard. So if Biafra, the people promoting Biafra, if they are going to the U.S. and they are paying how much? $60,000 to sell their own story, that Igbos are being marginalized and persecuted in Nigeria, and that the idea of a Republic of Biafra will be a good proposition. I think it makes sense that the Nigerian government too is in that space. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that the Nigerian government wants to be heard, so that there's not just one voice in the room. The other matter is Nigeria being designated a country of particular concern on October 30, 2025 by President Trump. So it's a very good diplomatic move to say we want to have our own people in the room. There is a group called Aste Legal also, in Kaduna, that we're told is representing the Nigerian government through the auspices of the National Security Advisor. On December 12, 2025, the Nigerian government paid $4.5 million for 6 months, and the contract is renewable for another 6 months. So the lobbyists, what they will be doing basically is to get the Nigerian voice into the room to say, one, there is no persecution of Christians in Nigeria, or where it exists, the Nigerian government is addressing those issues, and religion is not a major problem in Nigeria, to the extent that this is, a neutral state when it comes to religion, which is well stated in Section 10 of the 1999 Constitution, and which the Minister of Foreign Affairs referred to at a forum, I think, in Germany. Now, the delivery of military supplies by the United States, this is evidence, it is a clear evidence that the cooperation that the Nigerian government talked about, that they said they needed, the assistance that they needed in dealing with the multiple threats that Nigeria faces on many fronts is real. And the Americans themselves have said there is mutual partnership between Nigeria and the United States. And now African Command, U.S. African Command, AFRICOM, as it is known, has now brought these supplies to support the Nigerian government. The mutual interest that is there is that the Americans themselves do not want, the Sahel region or West Africa to be turned into a hub, into a playground for, global terrorism networks. And so it's a question of shared interest.
Settle bandit for what reason? Waiting in the drag. Waiting they get. They settle them as what? Somebody come out, begin they buy people, they say make they settle them. Somebody come out, begin they kidnap people, enter community, they behead, they say make they settle them. You no get any resources, no oil. The gold where we hear say they get now within them. Federal government need to fit touch them. Things where we hear say they get now within the state. Federal government need to touch them. Now their own. We will get oil. The Niger Delta will get oil. How many times he don't settle us? Niger Delta will get oil. How much will they see? Will they see anything? Will they see anything? Not be watching night and watching day on and make us for pipe way pass. Watching night and watching day for our property. We wanna make us. Not what you wanna do. If they settle bandits, everything they get. At what is it? Somebody they keep it. Somebody they destroy community, they burn house. They destroy church, is make they settle them. For what reason? Settle them so what happen. Nothing we no go see for this country. Now you be the same to settle. Nothing we no go see. Nothing we no go see. Now such is our leaders. On a follow the cause this thing. On a follow the cause them. Because on a no go stand up and talk. When they give you one contract, give you one thing, you close mouth. When they give you one appointment, you close mouth. Now in the cause them. When they give you one small money, you close mouth. You can kill the messenger, but you can't kill the message. If they settle them, waiting, then they drag. All you na their own. No be we still suppose verse. Now we, Niger Delta suppose verse. Now we suppose verse. The way that they treat us, the way that they do us, now we suppose verse. Bandit today they verse. Now we bring them. If they verse for what reason? Bukhara they busy they verse. Now we call on her to come. We use on her do any election. Say we hear say that they bring on her because of good luck Jonathan to cause confusion, to do this. It concern us. Those people will bring you, why not face those people? Those people will bring on I don't know their house. On I don't know their Ikunibe house. The meaning of Ikunibe, on I don't know where their mama, their papa, their relative day. The meaning of Ikunibe, where their relative day, on I don't know. What are going on the worry other people? Why not face who bring you come? We call on her, we go use that resources to settle on her.